Today's 6th grade national championship matchup between Utah and Southwest Florida.
I do. Yeah. Are they playing the anthems for all these games? I don't. Whenever you start streaming, we'll go up. We'll come up and start talking probably right around the point off. Yeah.
They don't play with time, but that might be possible too. Ah, okay. So they might have played on the other field already.
That's Utah, Ohio 7, and this is GMSA. And then I gotta go.
Wait till the
need to get both teams to the sidelines immediately. Let's get this game going. Both Southwest Florida and Utah to your sidelines immediately so we can get this game going. Thank you. We also need Southwest Florida's roster to the press box.
Yeah, that's the PA guy announced it. We've got it. We'll make sure
Got
it
it.
gets it.
Okay, so you're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
They don't have that,
Ready?
Welcome to the Paradise Coast Sports Complex in Naples, Florida. Championship week. The path to Naples culminates today. The 2022 sixth grade FBU National Championship here in Southwest Florida. And for the first time, a participant from Southwest Florida is in a title game. They're taking on Utah. Neil Sika with FBU Director of Football and Player Development, Anthony Williams, here to have some fun. Thanks so much for joining. And we're looking forward to a game and matchup, Anthony, that has the brute force of Utah, well coached, and the speed of Southwest Florida, which is playing for a lot more than just their teammates today, a community that was ravaged by Hurricane Ian, and they're happy to represent all of Collier County in this matchup today.
No, absolutely. I got a chance to see Utah in the Utah region a couple weeks ago. Really good team, well coached. I know Southwest Florida, same thing, well coached, a lot of good athletes. And yeah, these kids are playing for something a little bit extra with the, getting over the hurricane and stuff. So I'm looking forward to this game. You're going to see two well-coached teams executing on the field. Looking forward to seeing it for the next four quarters.
So the coin toss at midfield. Utah in the green has won the toss and deferred. So Southwest Florida will get the football. 10-minute quarters. The sixth grade FBU National Championship game started in 2013. And last year, which saw GMSAA's sixth graders victorious over Ohio. And we've got somewhat of a rematch for you later today in the seventh grade game because those two teams will meet. And then GFL and Dallas in the marquee matchup, the eighth grade FBU National Championship, now in its 12th season. Southwest Florida defeated GFL 28-0 in their opening round here in Naples. They defeated Massachusetts in the semifinals. Utah got past Maryland and Team Mocan from Kansas City, Missouri, making their way with the victory on Sunday night here to the championship game. So we are ready for kickoff. Tali Lau Taha, who's the tallest kid on this Utah roster, and you can see every bit of 6'1", and the emotional leader of Utah. Their 8th graders made the debut appearance when the championships were held for the first time in Southwest Florida in 2014, but this is a chance for a 6th grade title. Lautaha kicks it off. We are underway. It's Jaden Phillips slipping and falling at the 34, and that's where Southwest Florida will go to work.
Looking forward to seeing how South Florida tries to attack the edge here against Utah. I'm sure they're going to try and use their speed, but they can also pass the ball, so it'll be interesting to watch here going forward here, Neil.
They spoke prior to this game in the last 48 hours or so, living in the shadow of South Florida and their success. Of course, Central Florida, if you followed this tournament through the years, they won the first 8th grade FBU national championship. The quarterback is Colt Huber. And with 3 in the backfield, Southwest Florida will open up. On the opening play from scrimmage, and the pop pass over the middle is complete to Tyreek Brown. Nicely designed play all the way out to midfield, 16 yards, and Southwest Florida starts with a first down.
Yeah, great job by Southwest Florida coming out in a power I formation, power I left, and then hit the pop pass for a big gain. So great pass by the quarterback, great catch, and then Utah flying to the balls here. So great first play.
They say Brown, he's got hands of glue. He catches everything. He did there. They spot him back after momentum took him out to midfield at the 48. So it's a gain of 14 and a healthy dose on the first down handoff into Utah territory. And Jaden Phillips, who's the team's game breaker, he can play anywhere on the fields. And they'll put him in a 2nd down and 5. Just underway in the 6th grade national championship. It's Phillips again. Make it 3rd and 2. Denny Famo up there for the Utah tackle. A hard-nosed defensive lineman.
You know, we're kind of getting an idea here from Southwest that they look like they're attacking the right side of the Utah defense. So we'll keep an eye on that here going forward with their power I formation.
Now they line up in the same formation they had on the opening snap, and this time it's the quarterback, Huber, calling his own number. And great execution so far for Southwest Florida on the opening drive. Another first down to the 40.
Big key to these youth games for those that are watching is watch the line of scrimmage. Just like at every level, whoever wins the line of scrimmage usually is going to move the ball and end up winning the game here. So there's a good battle going on.
Especially at the 6th grade level where passing is, I wouldn't say hit or miss, but still developing. You'd be surprised. A lot of the quarterbacks can sling it at this age. The 12-year-olds cutting it to the outside. Another good run for Phillips. But we've seen run-heavy offenses throughout the years of the 6th grade FBU National Championship. And, of course, they're on the big stage here for the first time, Anthony. Not like the 7th and 8th grade, the linear progressions. There can be a little bit of nerves, too.
Oh, absolutely there are. Kids got playing for the first time this far from home and, trying to get their wits about them. But they'll calm down and start playing here.
2nd and 5. Another gashing run, hitting the A-gap, and this time it's Travis Burton Jr., the fullback. They call him Bacon, and he's sizzling to the tune of another Southwest Florida first down.
Bacon and that offensive line, they are winning at the line of scrimmage right now and creating lanes for their power running game, and it's working for Southwest Florida.
This drive started at their own 34. Huber. A good lead blocking in front on Phillips. That's the discipline of the other guys in the backfield, too, providing the lanes where Phillips has had a lot of success so far. 2nd and 4 with a gain of 6.
We've seen 7 plays in a row. 1 pass, 6 run, and all the runs to the left-hand side. I think it gives you an idea of what the scouting report was on Utah by the coaches.
Well, Bacon is in that backfield along with Troy Owens Jr. And it is Troy Owens Jr. And Utah making the play defensively. Roman Fitisi Manu is one of the fastest kids on this Utah roster. 100-meter dash champion, was first in the hole to make the tackle. So it's 3rd and 4 and quickly to the line of scrimmage. And going old school once more, just following the center is Huber. But he is going to be about a half-yard shy. Those big bodies trying to move the pile. Eric Kelly is the center. And no one, or that right side of the line was not fully set. And prior to that, they call a timeout. Utah does. So with 4th and half a yard and a big early play in this first quarter, almost 4 minutes old, but Southwest Florida, they move the football pretty well. And they've had great balance just in terms of their play selection. I know it's been run heavy, but they've diversified their portfolio, if you will.
Absolutely. There's been 4 different ball carriers in an offense in their running game. I'm starting to pick up here number 58, Dayton Lawson at their center for Southwest Florida, doing a really good job of not just snapping the ball, but really starting and owning the line of scrimmage. So keep an eye on that going forward. But yeah, Southwest Florida doing a good job controlling the clock and moving the ball, moving the chains.
Mentioning this is the culmination of Bowl Week and the path to Naples, dating back to 2014 when the FBU National Championships moved here, but the Paradise Coast Sports Complex and this stadium hosting the titles for the 3rd straight year. Huber, once again, following the center and Dayton Lawson. It's going to be close. And I don't know if he got it. He did not. They don't even call for a measurement, and Utah makes the stop. Southwest Florida turns it over on downs. And now the Southwest Florida bench wondering why there hasn't been a measurement. Our referee today is Jeff Sponseller from the Naples area. And we are going to get that measurement.
Never hurts to ask for the
Sure.
coach to ask. I mean, you never know. As they say, Neil, it's a game of inches. We'll find out right here.
Yeah. Already coming into full view here in the quarter. Just getting underway.
Six inches.
Wow. Closer than initially thought, at least in the eyes of those in stripes. But it is Utah football. And they hold with a big defensive stop, denying the sneaks of Huber on 2 consecutive plays. So here's the Utah offense. Their head coach is Brad Thurber. He grew up in Montana. This is his 5th year coaching the youth level. The quarterback is his son, Logan Thurber, and he hands off on first down, but there's not much through the interior. And Colt Huber got in to make the tackle.
Southwestern playing this stacked defense here, coming up with their big linebacker staying close to the line of scrimmage, trying to slow down that Utah running game. Something to keep an eye on here going forward.
Apollo McQuivy, he's the deep man in the backfield, and their star running back. There was a little shift before the snap by Utah, and that's going to back him up.
Neil, you mentioned it earlier, a little bit of nerves, a little bit of a flinch there, causing the flag. Kids will calm down here going into the rest of the quarter here.
Bubby Keogh is also in that backfield with McQuivy. Thurber on a toss. McQuivy is swallowed up for a loss. Well, the defense is swarming right now. Jeremiah Garner flashing all of his skills at 5'11". They say he's a freakish athlete. You can see why for his age. Makes the big tackle, and it's 3rd and long.
Great job by the corner, Cole Herber. Didn't make the tackle, but made the play go inside, so his linebacker make a play and clean it up. Great job of keeping contained on the edge.
3rd down and 20. Utah trying to ride the wave of momentum from the early defensive stop, but they're going in the other direction. And they're going to burn a timeout. So with 4:42 remaining in the first quarter, we'll pause. Utah, Southwest Florida. It's the 6th grade FBU National Championship.
Thanks.
Utah, after calling timeout, think about how they want to approach this 3rd and 20 deep in their own end. Nothing too risky, of course. The Southwest Florida defense, they've been swarming. Thurber, and the throw through the hands of the defensive back and then dropped by the receiver, Levi Garrett, in the end. He had a long ways to go, even if he did come up with the football, but ambitious. And Utah will punt.
Yeah, that's at every level, Neil. It's all about field position. You saw, Southwest Florida drive their first series, and now, hey, Utah behind. Now we're going to flip the field here. Utah, Southwest with the ball in really good location.
Can't rush. FTC Maunu is the punter, Roman FTC Maunu. And we'll put that back at the 49. A pretty good kick, all things considered, for Utah to put it out of plus territory for Southwest Florida, but they'll operate right near midfield for their second possession. They were moving along and then tried to sneak Huber over the center on 2 consecutive plays, but the big Utah front was ready for it. So we'll see what adjustments Southwest Florida might make once they get near that red zone, Anthony, because they were moving it with some pretty good success to start.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I mentioned earlier, they're attacking the right-hand side of that Utah defense. Let's say if they stay the same pattern or trying to use some counter now.
So Colt Huber tied up in a cloud of green jerseys. Mo Toki, who's just 10 years old. He's a 5th grader. But he made the tackle inside.
Looked like there was a little bit of a mishap on the exchange there between the center and quarterback. Good thing he got the ball back. Live for 2nd down.
Dayton Lawson. He's the center. Huber, hands away. Here's Garner to the open field. They will not catch him. A Southwest Florida touchdown. But there is a flag back at the 47-yard line. There's 2 flags, as a matter of fact, and an injured Southwest Florida player. So hold everything. Speed to burn for Garner, an impressive run, but we'll see if it stands.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, they were attacking the left-hand side there, Neil. Now they attack the right side, and Garner sees a little gap and just takes off using that top-end speed that he has. Hopefully these two players that are down are doing okay, but a real good play. Line blocking was good, and once he got to the edge, I mean, his stride and his turnover is just amazing. We'll see if it stands here.
There is both a Utah player down and a Southwest Florida player in on the play. The coaches of Southwest Florida are reacting to, well, not the injury, but the matter of that this is probably going to come back for an illegal block, it looks like.
Yeah. Usually at the point of attack, there's a hold. I don't think there was an illegal block or chop block, but still waiting for the officials to give us the final decision.
No, this is a refreshing scenario for Southwest Florida. Just these kids being able to play football. A lot of their leagues were shut down for much of the fall because of Hurricane Ian, which occurred at the end of September. A personal foul. And it's good to see Jaden Phillips, who's a key player in that offensive scheme for Southwest Florida, back up on his feet and walking off the field. So the touchdown of what was 50 yards is nullified, and where the foul occurred, it will back them up to the 44-yard line.
Be interesting to see here if they, there's an old saying in coaching, run it until they stop it. Let's see if they attack that right-hand side again here.
Chapter and verse. If you've got a play that keeps working, don't go away from it. Dress it up a little. But Garner is not in the backfield. The quarterback is Colt Huber. His coach said he's got the Pat Mahomes ability to throw it and run with it. Owens Jr. for no gain, and it's 3rd and long. And that's also at this level, too. Penalties like that can really set you off schedule and make it tough to recover from.
Especially on a scoring play. Sometimes it can deflate your momentum, but let's see if Southwest Florida is able to get it back here.
Coming up on 3 minutes remaining in the scoreless first quarter in the 6th grade championship game. Huber throws that up. It's intercepted. Basically in a position where you don't come up with it, you've got to punt anyway. And so it's not all that bad, but good field position. Landon Mattice, who's got great speed and is hungry in that secondary, wraps up the first turnover of the game. And Utah, they were in the shadow of their own goalpost going the wrong way the first time they had the ball. Now they've got some breathing room. Logan Thurber, he's the quarterback. Apollo McQuivy in the backfield with him. McQuivy breaking a few tackles for a positive run of about 7. I'll make it closer to 6. But McQuivy, they'll give him the ball 20 times a game. They're not shy in doing so.
Like Southwest Florida is in that 5-man front, and they are in the backfield on every play. They don't have the size to match up with Utah, but it looks like they're trying to use their speed to just disrupt the backfield, so keep an eye on that.
Speed versus power. An all-time rivalry, no matter what level you play at. It's McQuivy following lead blockers. He's got about 3 more. Bring up 3rd down, call it a long 2 for Utah.
One thing we saw to Utah in the Utah region is that they'll kind of lull you to sleep. They'll get a 3-4 yard run, and then they'll get them on the edge. They'll hit a big play, and that's just kind of their recipe for winning. Let's see what they do here on third down.
Of course, across the country, 3 weeks ago, the regionals for the FBU National Championship got underway. And the quarterfinalists, the top 8, make it down here to championship week. What a powerful run by McQuivy. Another dose of the big back, who's got a first down for Utah at the Southwest Florida 45.
Yeah, great run by the running back there. And we talk about running behind your pads and finishing your runs. He finished that one going north and south on this play and got as much yards as he could. Met the defender in the hole and just used his momentum to take him for a ride. So good for pickup for Utah.
Colton Nicholas made the tackle, but he felt every bit of Apollo McQuivy through the hole. So Utah with a little momentum. And for the 4th straight carry, it's McQuivy. Never mind the 20 carries. He may get 40 today based off of if they can roll with the success of his runs, the Palomalu type pair. And Utah with a very good situation on 2nd and 5 after another strong gain.
Keep an eye on play action here. They've gotten some success hitting the ball in the middle here. Quarterback's pretty good. They might try and do a little play action pass here. Keep an eye on that.
The 6th grade level, while these kids were not a part of that, they've made it down here to Utah in championship week, at least the quarterfinals, for the 3rd straight year. McQuivy with a 6th straight run. It's 3rd and 2, so just like the previous set of downs, they've put it in 3rd and manageable, and we'll put it in his hands. See if he can run behind our big line. That's what Utah and the coaching staff of Brad Thurber is saying. Through 10 minutes, team in green trying to tilt the field a bit. Scoreless after 1, the 6th grade FBU National Championship. Back here on what has become an overcast day in Southwest Florida, there is a threat of some showers and thunderstorms later this evening. 7th grade championship at 4 o'clock. 8th grade at 6. And we'll have them for you on watchfbunc.com. On 3rd and 2, but this is going to turn into a first down because in the neutral zone was Colt Huber off the tackle. And that will move the chains again for Utah, who had the interception and put them in business at their own 45, and now they're at the Southwest Florida 31. Neil Sika with FBU Director of Football and player development Anthony Williams, former great San Francisco State linebacker. Son Aaron with a great run in the NFL and at the University of Texas. Here with you in the booth. Off the reverse. They faked the dive ahead and then landed Matthijs. And Matthijs is going to take it to the 26-yard line.
Great play call by Utah here. They've run the ball up the middle and the tackles, and now all of a sudden they're going to attack the outside with a reverse. It's a great call there.
Matthijs, they say he's similar in terms of a foot race with Fitisi Manu, who won the 40-yard sprint competition they had here for the 6th graders prior to the start of the games. Apollo McQuivy He's been the main man tilting the rock for Utah on this drive, and he's going to get close to another first down. And they'll say he got it. Third first down on the drive for Utah.
You know, you're starting to see a little momentum in that Utah running game. Southwest Florida has been stacking the box. They know that's where their strength is, and I think that size of the Utah offensive line is just starting to kind of make itself known in this game.
Thurber, McQuivy, chopped down. Got about a yard. And there is a young man from Southwest Florida who's in a lot of pain in pursuit of the tackle. Just about a yard for McQuivy. That was Travis Burton.
Great play, seeing the play develop. Hopefully he's okay, but a great job by filling the hole there by Southwest Florida.
I don't want Bacon to be out too long. And the young man being attended to right now at the 25. So with the injury pause, we'll take a brief break. 8:32 remaining here in the half. No score. So good to see the injury out of the timeout with McQuivy breaking out of a couple of tackles on 2nd and 9, and he's got another first down. Had the momentary pause for Travis Burton Jr. Looked like he had his hand caught up in a face mask, and Bacon is off on the sideline. And he's a big part of that defense, and McQuivy is roaming where he wants to, Anthony, on this drive. Utah working clock and working the ground game.
Yes. It's a great straight arm by him on the last play to get some more yards.
That snap is low to Thurber. McQuivy, gashing inside and took a pop at the end on the tackle by Troy Owens Jr. But it is 2nd and goal at the 4 for Utah.
For the viewers out there that maybe have not seen Pop Warner or youth game at this level, you're seeing good tackling, you're seeing good blocking. You don't see any arm tackles. That's kind of the FBU way. These kids are very sound in their fundamentals.
Camp season that runs really early in the new year, off through the summer, making these young men so much better in their technique. They've been doing it for years. It's a pathway, of course, to the All-American Bowl in San Antonio. FBU National Championship starting in 2011, showcasing these all-star teams. Utah showcasing what it does best, trying to win their first title at any grade level. Here in the 6th grade, 3rd and goal from the 1, but a timeout from Southwest Florida. And the pendulum has shifted a little bit here, Anthony, in this first half. The great opening drive, but then just a defensive stop from Utah, and it's small things, right? Just a yard, but it makes a big difference because that carried their confidence from that point on, and once they got out of their own way from the first offensive series, they've been in control of this game.
No, absolutely, you're right. I think, as we mentioned earlier, Southwest Florida not as big up front. They're using their speed to shoot gaps. And now I think the Utah offense line is adjusted, and they're just feeding Apollo right now, and his vision and footwork is at another level. I think they'll continue to feed him when they come back from this timeout to hopefully finish this drive.
Their head coach is Gabe Solomon. That's Travis Burton Jr. They're taping him up, hoping he can return. Gabe Solomon went to Fort Myers High School, class of 2000. He's loved the chemistry of his team. We'll see if they can sure things up on the defensive end here, needing a big stop on 3rd and goal from the 1. Thurber to McQuivy. McQuivy, touchdown. We have liftoff from Apollo. McQuivy into the end zone for the first 6 of the 6th grade national championship.
Great run by Apollo. Great job by the offensive line. The play started up the middle. He saw an opening. We always tell running backs, run to daylight. He put his foot in the dirt, got outside the right side, took it over the goal line for the touchdown to give Utah the early lead.
So Utah on the board. And while they have Lautaha to kick, they don't normally attempt extra points. Trying to play for 2 here, but there are too many in pursuit for Southwest Florida to allow Roman Fitisimanu, who's the fastest guy on the team, any sniff toward the conversion. 6-0 Utah. And an impressive drive that started back on their 45 after the interception to lead here in Naples.
Great defense here on Southwest Florida. You know, game within the game. You give them a touchdown, sometimes kids kind of soak the shoulders, feel a little sorry. They came back on that PAT and held them from getting any points. Hopefully they can use that momentum coming out in offense here on this first series.
Southwest Florida, they are debutantes in a championship game for the first time at any grade level. These 6th graders carrying the mantle for the city of Fort Myers and really all of Collier County. They even had some support before kickoff from Carter Quinn, who played in the All-American Bowl last night. The ball is on the ground. It wasn't fielded cleanly. Who's come up with it? Southwest Florida.
First down, Southwest Florida.
Well, they dodge one there. And Garner got rocked trying to recover the spillage. Those squib kicks, if they're not handled cleanly, Anthony, they can be a problem.
Yeah, not a clean return there for Southwest Florida, but the most important thing is they kept the ball.
They've turned it over once. It was a long 3rd down conversion attempt. Pretty much played like a punt. And they're playing it now to Garner, who had a 50-yard touchdown run called back because an illegal blindside block. He's got 7 yards here. This could be the Garner-McQuivy show, seeing how these two have run so far in the early going.
Great job by Garner. Utah had 9 in the box, trying to take away the inside run. Once again, Garner sticks his foot in the dirt, gets outside, and picks up 7 yards. Good job by him on first down.
Nearing the midpoint of quarter number 2. Utah just scoring on the last possession. The lights have been flipped on. And looking to shine under them, Troy Owens Jr. He was swung down in a positive direction. 3rd and 1. A big Utah defense. Now Taha, big number 62, leading in the middle. Maximus Motuliki also up there, and they're trying to prevent this 3rd down conversion. And I don't believe, no, that's a favorable spot, but Southwest Florida is going to move the chains. We've got an official timeout for a hydration break, and we'll pause. 6-0 Utah, 6th grade FBU National Championship here from Naples. Ready to resume out of the hydration break. Midpoint of this second quarter. Quarterback Colt Huber for Southwest Florida. And there was confusion on the play there. Garner went one direction. Huber was looking for him on the other side. And barely got back to the line of scrimmage and even gained a yard in the process.
Yeah, a little frustration by the Southwest Florida offense there. Need to get on the same page here. I'm sure the coach will make the correction. This is an important possession for Southwest Florida as we get into halftime here.
It's the final day of championship week. Of course, the feature matchup outside of these title games last night in the FBU All-American Bowl. Great pursuit defensively on Garner. They know he's getting it. And Isi Cadenas was off the edge to get in to help make the tackle. Mo Toki also in pursuit. No gain in 3rd and long. And I have some FBU royalty. Of course, you're the winning coach for the 2nd year in a row. But it was a great FBU All-American Bowl last night, which we saw here at the Paradise Coast Sports Complex.
Yeah, we had a great time last night. Both teams fought hard. Good, clean game. Very entertaining. Very happy with the game, how the game turned out.
Of course, tournaments like this could showcase some of the future stars that may play in that game down the road. Good improvising. Huber had to because the pocket collapsed, and he took it himself for a big 12 yards and to keep the drive alive for Southwest Florida.
Yeah, big job by Huber there. They ran a wheel route progression down here on the right-hand side. Pocket collapsed. Utah's in man, ran their guys off. He saw the opening, got the first down, and moved the chains.
Huber on the delay to Jaden Phillips. Phillips breaks a tackle. Jaden Phillips is down to the Utah 16. And Southwest Florida was staggering a bit, has suddenly come to life with Huber and Phillips runs.
Great job by Phillips. I think Southwest Florida is starting to see some success attacking the edge. I got outside, got a big gain there.
Inside the red zone. Huber wants to take it himself again. And he's going to be spun down. Fiti Manu with the initial top. And then the tackle finished off by Noah Nakin. Second down and 5. Southwest Florida, they pitched a shutout in their first game. Huber's looking to the end zone. It's caught. Tyreek Brown. They call him glue hands, and he'll remember that one for a long time. He's tied up the national championship with the conversion to come.
It's a great call by Southwest Florida. They went with a fade route. They have a significant size advantage over the corner from Utah. Throw it up, 50-50 ball. Brown said, I got this, and for the touchdown. Great job and a great call by Southwest Florida.
He had 2 touchdowns in the semifinal. Gabe Sullivan said he's a big reason why we're in this game. They play for 2. They throw to him again. He's got it. Southwest Florida to the lead, 8-6 after the successful conversion. Runs to the perimeter and then hit him through the air with the big target in Tyreek Brown.
Once again, another great call by the OC for Southwest Florida. They scored on the fade right on the outside. The Utah defense probably thinking the same thing. He runs a slant, he's wide open, catches it for the 2-point conversion.
So we've got a pretty good one brewing here in the 6th grade national championship. Southwest Florida answering the Utah score late here in the first half.
Neil, it was a really good response by Southwest Florida. You remember Utah scored in the last series. They didn't get down. That was about a 60-yard drive, a couple big runs by the quarterback. Throws the ball, gets right back in the game, gets in the lead. The game is about momentum, how you capture it and how you take it away. Great job by Southwest Florida there.
One of the things I've come to appreciate, Anthony, through the years, and I'm sure you do too, in watching these all-star competitions and knowing there's been a decisive hand with some programs and knowing the lay of the land and how to prepare, the competitive nature of the games. And you could see that last year for a good chunk of the 6th and 7th grade finals, and it's taken on that same life here. They're becoming a lot more competitive year in and year out. We're not seeing the dominant nature, and that's a good thing.
Yes.
Because the growth of the game across the American landscape is showing that it's evolving.
Yeah, the parity is definitely getting higher. You're seeing more competitive games. Kids are getting more training, playing other sports. And, the level of play is definitely growing each year, and that's what we want to see at the youth levels.
Of course, a lot of these individuals, Anthony mentioning the FBU camps, the best place for instruction. A lot of them down here in Naples this week, whether they're playing for their all-star team side, have had individual work, and that's blossomed into even bigger recognition. Thurber, nicely designed play to the speedster, Fiti Sumanu. And Roman rumbles into Southwest Florida territory. He's to the 46. Utah with the football and just over 2 minutes remaining to try and get the lead back going into halftime.
I love the call there by Utah. You've been feeding Apollo. They run the reverse off it, makes a great play at the point of attack, picks up 5 yards here for Utah.
Well, that's the thing. They got to keep it somewhat of a guessing game and
Yes.
not give it to McQuivy every single carry, as great as he's been. 2nd and 6. McQuivvy's going to block here, but it's just great pursuit on the edge. Mattice is not going to get to where he wants to go, and the key play on that was Micah Bliss making sure he forced him outside, and then Royce Herrera did the rest of the work.
Whenever you see an outside play, all you want your corner to do is make sure he keeps contained and makes that guy go inside towards pursuit. Great job by the corner number 3 there, Royce Herrera.
Logan Thurber gets the play from the Utah bench. His dad is the head coach, Brad. His team trailing by 2 with 1:44 remaining in the half. Third and 7 for Utah. Thurber running for his life. Garner swallows him up. The sack back at the Utah 46.
You see here Utah running a rollout with a route combination of an out route and a corner route. The guys weren't open. That would be a coverage sack, and Garner just ran the guy down from behind. It's a great job by the entire Southwest defense on that.
And so now, with this 4th and long, a punting situation, but you want to make sure you don't give great field position to Southwest Florida, knowing that they've opened up the playbook and have the ability to find Tyreek Brown through the air. And Garner making plays on both sides of the ball in this championship so far.
Garner really having an impact in this game on both sides of the ball, using his speed and size to make plays with the ball in his hands and when he's on defense here.
A long journey from the Beehive State to get here for Utah. Both these programs trying to win their first national championship at any grade level. VTC Manu punting it away. It's muffed and recovered by Utah. So a huge, huge moment when Southwest Florida thought they were going to get the football back. We've seen on the previous kickoff, Anthony, they've had trouble fielding on special teams.
Yeah, good punt by the punter there. Had the backward spin on it. For young guys watching this game, you got to keep your elbows in on punt return, kickoff return, and it just kind of went through the basket on them and caused the muff. Let's see if Utah can take advantage of this turnover.
Unfortunate for Tyheem Hutchins, who was back to receive it. McQuivy trying a little misdirection. Look at him go, dragging 3 and 4 pink jerseys down to the 30-yard line. Apollo McQuivy. And he's cracking a grin, too, as Jarvis Lee walks back to the huddle. He was part of that tackling assault.
Here's what I love about Apollo on that play. You see a lot of kids trying to somersault and jump people. He is old school, good old-fashioned straight arm and making tackles miss and getting extra yards after contact. Keep an eye on that the rest of the game also.
Just keep moving the legs, right?
Yep.
Down to a half-minute remaining. Thurber slinging it. Got his man. Inside the 10, down to the 6. First and goal. Roman Fitisimanu. They got him out on the edge, and that's what he does best, run by people. And Thurber with his best throw of the game.
Great route by Roman there. Got the fade route here. Now puts him in position here in the 6-yard line with 28 seconds left. Great job, great pass, great route, and completion.
So Utah is in business, and maybe about a minute ago in real time, Anthony, we thought they're punting. Southwest Florida has a chance to really do some damage, but Utah, the beneficiary now of the turnover on the drop punt, and a chance to retake the lead before the break.
You really get a chance to see how momentum goes between different sidelines here. Like you just said, you think Southwest Florida's got it, and now they don't, and now Utah's back in business here with 28 seconds left. It might take a lead into halftime.
8-6 Southwest Florida. A touchdown for Tyreek Brown, the wide receiver, and the 2-point conversion answering the previous drive's Utah touchdown by Apollo McQuivy. A good one here in the opening stanza. First 20 minutes of the 6th grade FBU National Championship. Logan Thurber gonna toss to McQuivy. A little jump cut to just try and get back near the line of scrimmage. But with 20 seconds remaining, Utah, which may be out of timeouts, but they're going to get the pause because of an injured Southwest Florida player.
Interesting call, Neil, by Utah there. They've been having success up to the tackles, and they decided on 1st and goal to take Apollo outside here. Maybe they saw something, but they might want to get back to their bread and butter and run him up between the tackles here after this injury.
That is interesting, especially knowing the speed that Southwest Florida has shown to get to the perimeter quickly. Mentioned last night the FBU All-American Bowl. You've been part of FBU for a long time. What's your favorite part of Bowl Week?
My favorite part of Bowl Week is working with the freshman All-Americans at practice, getting to know these kids and having these kids bond in 3 short days. We've got kids from all over the country, so best part of it here. And then obviously games like this where you got 2 really good 6th grade teams getting after it for a national championship.
And the football public is interested. 11 different countries watching the game last night. The 12th edition of the game. Well, Colt Huber is up and to the sideline, and that's great to see, but it's also very interesting with that pass tipped and 5 seconds remaining. And probably for the benefit of Utah that it was, because it wasn't going anywhere. Probably would have brought the end of the half. But for Huber, that's the bigger concern, the quarterback on the other side of the ball for Southwest Florida. And Jeremiah Garner's not thinking much about that now. He wants to make sure his team gets to the break with the lead.
Yeah. Got to recognize great play by number 40, Micah Bliss. Not going to get to the quarterback, get your hands up and try and have an impact on the play, and he did that. Great job by that young man.
Utah trying to go into the locker room with the lead at half. Down 8-6. McQuivy out of the pistol look. Logan Thurber. His throw on the edge is caught, but what a great play by Royce Herrera to end the half. He made sure Vitas Imanu wasn't running to daylight. And the Southwest Florida fans, there's something special about this group. They're playing for all of Collier County, and they lead at the half in the 6th grade FBU National Championship, 8-6. We'll pause. We'll have highlights for you and come back with the second half on WatchFBUNC.com here from Naples. We welcome you back to the Paradise Coast Sports Complex on the interior of Naples, the Golden Gate area, where rain has started to fall. Temperatures have been in the mid-70s and approaching 80 degrees for much of the early part of the week, but now the elements come into play. Southwest Florida leading 8-6 over Utah in the 6th grade FBU National Championship. It's Neil Sika, Anthony Williams, who's the Director of Football and Player Development for FBU, Football University. The 6th grade edition of the championship goes back to 2013 and was won by a group that had a linear three-peat championship in North Texas, now known as Dallas. And we've seen the future stars, not only the 7th and 8th grade levels, but on the scene for the FBU All-American Bowl, the All-American Bowl, make their mark in this game, Anthony, through the years. And we've got a good one through 20 minutes. And Southwest Florida, a big defensive stop to end the half, and they will kick off where Utah had won the toss and deferred. And on that kick, quickly down on it, Mo Toki, knowing that that could have gone pretty much anywhere off the boot of Tyreek Brown. Brown's had the big touchdown, the 2-point reception. It's good to see that while starting on defense, Colt Huber, who is the quarterback for Southwest Florida, Anthony, is back out there. He was shaken up toward the end of the half. But will they have an answer? They've had it on the outside edge, but on the inside, through the tackles, can they stop Apollo McQuivy, the star running back for Utah?
A couple of things to keep an eye on is with the ball getting wet in the conditions, will they still be able to move the ball? I think it'll come down to the running game here. As you see Apollo go for another tough 4.5, 5-yard pickup.
And they push the pile to set up 2nd and 6. 3 Southwest Florida players helping to make the tackle. They've also got Bacon back and Travis Burton Jr. And he had suffered a hand injury trying to make the tackle back in that first half.
Yeah, good to have him back, Neil. And as you know, everything's better with Bacon. So hopefully the defense.
Yes, it is. McQuivy. Oh, he stood up. Tyreek Brown doesn't want to have any of it. He's right there in the hole. And even he is making some uniform adjustments. When McQuivy comes at you and makes contact, you're feeling it.
Yeah, one thing you see about him, he finishes he finishes his run. Even after contact, his legs keep driving. He's trying to get every possible yard at a very carry. Love that about that kid. Big third down here, Neil.
Early on the opening possession of the third quarter. Logan Thurber. That offset pistol look. Oh, and they tried to delay. They've shown that a few times. Colt Huber and Bacon, Travis Burton Jr. were not fooled. It's a loss, and it's 4th down.
Great job by Huber here. They try to run the counter off of the fake pitch to Apollo. Huber stays home, does a great job staying home, and ends up getting a big loss there. And they're going to get the ball back here in pretty good position.
4th and 11. And Roman Fitisimanu standing back at his own 39 to punt. Angling this toward the sideline. It will go out at the Southwest Florida 45-yard line. So a kick that netted about 10 yards at the end of the day, and Southwest Florida has now had 2 successful defensive stops, and they'll try and build off this 8-6 lead.
Be interesting to see here if the Southwest Florida offense coordinator try and use the passing game that they have success with before the weather gets too bad here. Don't know what that weather's going to look like here in the fourth quarter, but look for them to go get the ball outside again because that's where they had success that led to their touchdown drive.
We've seen timely passes in this game, but how do you think the weather will affect what they do, or does it affect it much because they're ground-based teams for the most part?
Yeah, no, I think they're still going to run the ball, but they'll take their chances. But, you know, small hands, slippery ball, bad things happen sometimes when you throw the ball.
They give to Garner, and Garner maybe got a yard before Tali Lautaha, who kicked off. He's the big 6'1" target and the emotional leader of this Utah team, and he's leading by example with the tackle for a minimal gain for Garner.
Yeah, Tali's a good job. He's got great size, but he moves his feet, takes on blocks, gets off and makes tackles. He's a very special talent there at DN for Utah.
Jeremiah Garner has been all over the field. He's in the backfield right now with Jaden Phillips and Travis Burton Jr., the powerhouse. 3 running backs behind the quarterback in Huber. He throws it here. It's intercepted. Landon Mattice finds daylight on the outside. A flag comes in. There are a couple during the run back. And that's the second interception Southwest Florida has thrown. And they've also got the fumbled punt, so turnovers are prohibiting them from expanding on this 2-point lead. That's the second illegal blindside block we've seen.
Southwest Florida tried to get back to that tight end pop pass, Neil, without establishing the run first. You see here, he's looking it straight down, and the safety's just sitting on it now. So it was great in the first half when they hadn't seen it, but I think Utah did a good job of adjusting and sitting on that tight end pop for the turnover.
That was a very congested middle where the ball was thrown by Huber. But Utah who had to punt on their opening series will get the football back. McQuivy quivering on the hit by Garner. He almost took the handoff.
Garner timed that snap perfectly. I know people were yelling for offsides, but he just timed that one perfectly and came and just blew up that play, that lead play on the odd side. Great job by him, making a big play for his team.
Two of the bigger names in the game so far meeting right on the tracks on that big hit by Jeremiah Garner. Such a high ceiling already for the 6th grader. He's 5'11". Pre-snap penalty.
See if this will be encroachment or illegal procedure on the offense. That was pretty close here. See what the referees call.
It's like that Spider-Man meme, pointing in each way.
Yeah. Once the offensive line moves, they're usually going to call it on him. Starting to see what Southwest Florida's starting to do here. They're moving Garner around and really he's their buck, which means he's a linebacker, but he's just kind of lined up where he feels the ball's going to go, and he's just attacking the gap. I think it's giving Utah's offensive line some problems.
He, along with Tyreek Brown, are the ones who are operating in that linebacker area, but they're giving Garner carte blanche to do what he wants. Thurber against the heat. Got the pass off and completes it to Levi Garrett. Garrett, who's got a rapport with the quarterback. They play together on the same youth team, and it shows. And under some duress, he's able to make this third and much more manageable for Utah.
It's a big play there. Didn't get the first down, but gotten back in front of the chains here. More manageable play call here for Utah OC.
Inside 5 minutes here in the third quarter. The scores in this game came on back-to-back possessions. Utah broke the ice with a 45-yard or 55-yard drive. But the conversion failed, and then Southwest Florida answering with the touchdown from Tyreek Brown.
Neil, keep an eye on Garner here. He's now at the right defensive end, coming off the edge here. And I think they saw that and decided to call a timeout to make sure they got the right play called.
Utah wants to make sure that everything is squared away for a big snap in the football game. The 6th grade FBU National Championship continues in a moment. 8-6 Southwest Florida. With FBU's Director of Football and Player Development, Anthony Williams, Neil Sika, a great crew from Prep Spin on Championship Tuesday here in Naples. It's become an overcast and rainy Naples. 3rd down and 6 out of the timeout for Utah. And trying to sweep it. Vita Simanu looking to run away from Garner. He's brought down for a loss, but there's a late flag.
That's going to be an unsportsmanlike on the ball carrier there. A little frustrated that Garner ran him down, trying to get around the edge.
They called the timeout specifically to plan for Garner, and he still blew up the play.
And we talked about Garner being the kind of in that what we call the buck position, which means he kind of gets to float around and do whatever he wants to do as a linebacker. Before the timeout, he was at right defensive end. They thought he'd come out in that same position and run away from him. Southwest Florida DC makes a change, puts Garner back in that B gap on the wide side, and they run right into him. Great job by Garner there.
Vita Simanu. See him showing the frustration that cost Utah 15 yards, so they, for the second time in this third quarter, will punt.
Neil, Southwest Florida making a change now, putting 2 guys back on punt return just to make sure they can cover each other. One guy will catch the ball, the other guy will block for him to make sure he's covered.
Troy Owens Jr. along with Tyreek Brown, but the kick, well, didn't look good to start. Takes a few bounces with the team from the Beehive State, but it's still plus territory for Southwest Florida to start their second drive of the third quarter, leading 8-6. The conversion is the difference in the game right now. And Southwest Florida, despite the 2-point lead, they've survived because they've made the critical play when they've had to. They've turned it over twice. They've fumbled a punt. And yet their defense has responded to get them out of a couple of jams.
Yeah, Neil, for all the you youth coaches that are watching this is why you want to put importance on the special teams in practice. You've got to be able to flip the field here. Utah has had 2 punts of 10 yards or less these last 2 possessions, and it sets up South Florida with a short field.
We're going to have a tale of that in the 7th grade game in the rematch between Ohio and GMSAA, Georgia Middle School Athletic Association. Ohio gave up 2 special teams touchdowns last year in the 6th grade championship, and it cost them dearly. really the difference in the game. Jaden Phillips went for a loss of 2 on that run for Southwest Florida. Both these programs are trying to win a championship for the first time at any grade level. And of course, it starts with the 6th graders. Colt Huber wants to throw. Finding Brown. Emerging from the green wave in the secondary to take it for a first down to the 30.
Yeah, Southwest Florida here. Huber did a good job. They got 9 in the box, so they're playing against the run, and they throw the ball. And it's a great route and another good catch to get the first down and move the chains for Southwest Florida.
It went for 22 yards. Clock running inside 3 minutes in the third. Big game for Brown already. 3 receptions. Make it 4 with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Owens Jr. shedding would-be tacklers and able to nestle his way down to the 26. Fita Simanu over to cover along with Pita Williams, the defensive tackle for Utah.
Southwest Florida using the counter there. For those maybe new to football, when you hear me use the term 9 in the box, that means Utah has 9 players from between the tight end and the offensive lineman on the other side. So they're specifically putting more men in the box to hopefully stop the run. Southwest Florida doing a good job of noticing that, saying if you're doing that, then we got to pass the ball to take advantage of it. So we'll see how that chess game continues here, Neil.
There's Huber handing to Phillips, and the edge was well guarded there with the big Pita Williams again helping to make the stop. Are you impressed? 6th graders, we're talking 11, 12-year-olds. Sometimes a 5th grader plays up the amount that they're able to absorb at this level to be as sophisticated as they are with the schemes that they run?
I am, and I know that both these coaching staffs are smart. These kids are very smart. They're very savvy, but you want to keep your game plan simple. You don't need to have 50 plays in your playbook and 18 different defenses. Keep it simple, run what you can run, and have a bread and butter type of play or defense.
On 3rd and 6, off the edge, they've got the sack. Utah's Zach Olson. His coach says if we had a tight end in our offense, he'd be an awesome one, but we'll take his great merits on the defensive edge, and he makes the big play to make it 4th down.
Yeah, Zach just comes hard off the edge. Huber doesn't even have a chance to set his feet. See if he comes in here unblocked. Yeah, he just beats the left tackle straight line to the quarterback for a big play for Utah.
Now, Eric Kelly got up out of his stance, and the celebration was already on from Olson. 4th and 12. The Utah 32. They're coming again with the pocket collapsing. But it's Huber who had a huge run on their scoring drive, and this is even bigger. Inside the 15 and worming his way around the secondary to pick up the first down.
The chess match continues. This time Utah came out in a 2-deep zone coverage. Quarterback Huber sees that. Nobody's open. He takes off and rips off a big gain to move the chains for Southwest Florida as we close the quarter.
We head to the 4th in Naples. Southwest Florida is on the move, looking to expand on their 8-6 lead and win the 6th grade FBU National Championship. 10 remaining, and we'll have it for you here in Southwest Florida. 19 yards on 4th and 12 by the quarterback Colt Huber to send us into the fourth quarter here in Naples for the 6th grade FBU National Championship. Southwest Florida, the 2-point lead and threatening again. Huber gives to Phillips. Finds the outside. Spun out at the 3. Going to be close to another first down for Southwest Florida.
Hate to sound like a broken playbook here, but once again, Southwest Florida, hey, I only see 5 in the box. Guess what? We're going to run the ball. Utah now thinking we got to stop the pass, and I think Southwest Florida is doing a good job of modifying their game calling, their play calls.
Huber. Not going to have it. The middle was stacked. Caleb Fautoa had 4 sacks over the last 2 games, finally able to get to the quarterback.
Neil, this is going to be interesting here. Now you don't have as much space to move around, and yet now it's going to become mano-a-mano here. Let's see what they do here.
It's 3rd and 1. They throw it up for Brown, who spilled it coming to the ground. They're going to say incomplete. So very interesting. They can still pick up a first down. They put that at the goal line for Brown to go up and get it. He could not. You know, the biggest play in the game coming up right now.
And look who's coming to the game, Neil. Number 12, Garner. I think there's a 99% chance that he's going to get the ball here. Let's see what happens.
They've been very selective with how they've used him on offense. He's also had 5 tackles defensively and a timeout to think it over.
Yeah. It's a good timeout here, Neil, by Southwest Florida. You want to make sure you got your personnel, you got the right play called. This could be a big play that could have an impact in the game, obviously.
Of course, is there anything to think about? Are you giving him the football and making sure that he's giving you the best chance to get into the end zone?
Yes, but you also have to understand that you're not winning in the box in that line of scrimmage against Utah's big front. Will they take him outside? Will they try and get him a swing pass? Look for them to maybe try and get him the ball out in space, maybe with a swing pass or getting outside. I don't think they'll run him up the middle.
Glad you're with us on WatchFBUNC.com. The 7th grade title tilt coming up at the top of the hour, 4 o'clock Eastern, where Ohio, and they're coached by longtime NFL wide receiver Ted Ginn Jr. His 7th graders will battle the defending champs from the 6th grade level, trying to win up in a linear progression GMSAA in a rematch of last year's 6th grade game won by the Georgia Middle School Athletic Association. So 4th and a yard. It's Huber who keeps. Oh, they ran the deception with Garner in the backfield, and they're going to move the sticks. It's 1st and goal.
Yeah. Great job by Huber there. Quarterback sneak sounds easy. Did a great job if you watch. It was plugged up in the middle, goes over one gap, gets the first down. 1st and goal at the 1.
And, of course, if you watch the opening drive, it wasn't so easy when they tried to run it on 2 consecutive plays, but they go back to it. They had it in the bag. And now they've got 4 downs to earn 6 more, and possibly 8 with the conversion, leading 8-6.
Coming out in power eye with Garner at the tailback. I think I know who's getting the ball here.
Instead, they go to the fullback. And lunging in, is that Troy Owens Jr.? No signal yet. They're going to spot him down at the 1. I should amend it. It was Jaden Daniels who was trying to finish it off. Right back to it. Huber fumbled it. Garner to pick it up. Well, he saved Southwest Florida, but they've lost 3 yards. They tried to run that play so quickly, Anthony, and it almost cost them dearly.
Yeah, once again, you get so much in the hurry up that you forget about the center quarterback exchange. Ball that's wet, and he gets out of there. Thank God for Garner picking that thing up and keeping him within scoring position.
Now the QB sneak, it's giveth and taketh away in this sixth grade title game. There's an injury to a Utah player. Eight, 6 Southwest Florida.
Neil, I got to say, I love the fact that Southwest Florida is not giving up on trying to run in between the tackles. They ran that little fullback give, threw him off a little bit. That could have been a disaster. And look at Garner. He gets the ball at the 5-yard line and just keeps fighting and competing and moves that ball at least back down to the 3-yard line.
Now the persistence, too, from the smaller Mo Toki, who's a fifth grader, by the way. He's only 10 years old. He's trying to help wrap up with Roman Fitasimanu. And they force a loss of 3.
It's a great example there. You might be younger, it might be smaller. Just hold on because the cavalry's coming. Let your pursuit, let your guys come and help you out. It's a great job by that young man.
Tali Lautaha, the big 6'1" defensive lineman, was the injury. He is walking back to the Utah sideline. 2 minutes gone on the fourth. 3rd and goal. On the toss, Garner. Garner will get there. Touchdown. Southwest Florida. Grows the lead to 8 with the conversion to come. Well, Anthony, it was 4 plays ago out of the timeout. Don't overthink it. Maybe give it to one of your best players. It took him about 4 snaps, but he finally got the natural call.
Yeah. I think with Garner's speed and ability, that was a great call. Just getting outside. If he can turn the edge, great. If not, stick your foot in the dirt and get upfield, and he did a great job on that call.
It's been a big part of the success of Southwest Florida, improvising with their feet. The quarterback, Huber. Garner. We're going to go the other way. He's going to try to get the 2. Yes. Jeremiah Garner hits pay dirt. 16-6, Southwest Florida.
As we said earlier, Neil, in football, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They run the same outside play to the left, and he does a great job once again to get in the end zone. Great job by the offensive line, sealing Utah and having Garner go one-on-one against a smaller, undersized cornerback, and he gets in the end zone.
They've converted on both 2-point tries today. One through the air to Tyreek Brown, and Jeremiah Garner, who's in the conversation for MVP honors for Southwest Florida, who's 750 away from a 6th grade title.
Momentum clearly on the side of Southwest Florida right now, but we saw that in the first half. And let's see how Utah responds. They're a well-coached team. Let's see if they can get back here and get some momentum here on offense.
Well, they've got the biggest drive of their tournament upcoming with a 10-point deficit. 16 unanswered points now for Southwest Florida. Utah had taken the early lead. This kick is going out of bounds. Special teams a factor again. Utah will have very good field position.
Yes. Coaches, once again, I remind you, all you dads and youth coaches out there, spend time on special teams and find yourself a kicker or a punter. They can make a difference in the game. There are 3 phases of football. There's offense, there's defense, and then there's special teams, and there's a reason why they call them special.
First down, Utah at the 35.
Well, Utah, they're hoping they've got a special memory for the trip back home, but they're down 10 with 7:50 remaining.
Let's look to see if they don't get the ball back into Apollo's hands here. He's kind of went quiet there in the third quarter.
The snap is low to Thurber. Completes it to Matthijs. Broke tackles. First down and more. Gain of 14 to the 46-yard line of Southwest Florida.
Love the call there. You get your slot guy. They're in Southwest Florida's in zone. Safety's back. He curls up at 10 yards, makes a nice catch, picked up another 3 yards. First down. That's a good first down call.
Clock is running. They're finally bringing the play in.
It's a 2-possession game right now. Utah's got to score, get a stop on defense, and then try and score again here. Not totally impossible, but with 7:20 left, they need to score quickly here. Probably go to an onside. Let's see what kind of response Southwest Florida defense has right now.
Well, just a weapon that successful conversions do at this level. The one failed by Utah, the 2 successful by Southwest Florida, making it a 2-possession game instead of 1. Another low snap for Thurber. He's under the heat. And the pass is off the hands over the middle of Bo Lee. He's one of the fastest on the team. He's got no fear on those crossing routes, but not able to connect. Second down and 10.
It's not a bad play call there. You throw the ball. If it's complete, you pick up yards. It's not the clock stops. You actually have 2 opponents right now on offense. You've got the defense, and you have the clock. So not a bad call there by the Utah OC.
(16-6). You want to throw to make up yards and move the ball downfield, but you don't want to totally get away from your identity of McQuivy. You still have time.
Absolutely correct, Neil.
He's back to block on the wheel route. It is nearly picked off. A juggling exhibition. And it was really well read by Jarvis Lee, but he couldn't finish off the interception. They wanted to hit Fitisimanu in space.
Yeah, I think that's a great job once again by the Southwest Florida defensive coordinator, understanding that they like that wheel route, had the corner and the linebacker sit on that, on a great play there.
Southwest Florida fans come to their feet. The chant is defense on 3rd and 10. The throw deflected away. The quarterback, but he's also an excellent linebacker, Huber, and we've seen him make a couple of clutch defensive plays like that one there. It's 4th down.
We talked about it a little while ago, Neil. So right now, Southwest Florida playing more of a pass defense in defense here. They're playing a zone, and Utah's best offensive player has not touched the ball in this possession yet. I think they want to get him the ball here on this play here coming up.
I agree. They completed the first pass on this drive for a 1st down, and they've tried to replicate that on 3 straight plays after, but they've come up empty. So now it's 4th and 10. Thurber, incomplete. It was so well defended on the outside from Herrera. Utah turns it over on downs, and Southwest Florida furthered their grip of control here in the 4th quarter with the football back and leading by 10.
Southwest Florida defense recognizing, hey, it's 4th and 10. They were bailing on the snap, making sure they didn't give up a 1st down there. A pretty good pass, but great defense by Southwest Florida to get the ball back and try and run this clock down.
Well, no touches on that drive for Apollo McQuivy. And they've had their most success when they've went to him today on the offensive side, but now they've got to muster up a defensive stop and try and get the football back. Huber to Phillips. Well, they've got plenty of options, though, don't they, offensively, Southwest Florida. Phillips started the game with a heavy dose. You've got Tyreek Brown, and oh, by the way, the likely MVP of this game, Jeremiah Garner, just fits and chooses his spots when he needs to make the impact that he brings.
Earlier in the game, we talked about how Utah had 9 in the box there, but now, as I mentioned earlier, Southwest Florida playing the Utah defense and the clock. You want to run against this and run the clock down, even against a 9-man front. He did a great job picking up almost 6 yards.
Call it second and a long 5 for Colt Huber. He's really manipulated a nice game from the quarterback position today. Another give to Daniels, or Jaden Phillips rather, for about 3 yards. 3rd down and 3.
Still a lot of time left, but Utah really has to get a stop here and get the ball back, or the clock's really going to have an impact on the outcome of this game.
Everybody up in the box for Utah. We get the 5-minute mark. Huber on the QB keeper. Well, they've ran that about a half dozen times today, sometimes for success and sometimes, like the last series, almost near disaster. It gets them closer. They're trying to close it out with the ball in their hands. There's no better feeling when you can do that. 4th and half a yard. 4.5 left. Huber sneaks again. Breaks through down to the 35-yard line. Needed a half a yard. Almost got 10.
We talked about Apollo, the running back for Utah, keeping his feet driving after contact. Huber does the same thing there. He's not a big guy, but hey, contact, he drove his feet, and when he was hoping for 1 yard, ended up getting 6 in that play. That's a huge play for Southwest Florida's offense.
Utah forced to take a timeout. Southwest Florida, they can potentially start to taste it, leading 16-6. And we weren't blowing smoke at the start of this, saying they were playing for the city and for Collier County. Some within their football league, they've lost homes.
Yeah, Neil, a lot of families still trying to recover from that hurricane, that devastating hurricane back in September. Really proud of how these kids are coming out and playing hard for their community.
Hurricane Ian hit on September 28th. Really ravaged the areas of Fort Myers, the beach town, Bonita Springs, but all the coastline affected by it. Even here in Naples, you can see, especially toward the waterfront, repairs are needed. Florida strong, one might say. This group of 6th graders, small but mighty, leading by 10, trying to close it out. Owens Jr. with a flag coming in as he's wrapped up for little to no gain. And this is going on Southwest Florida.
Yeah, it was a hold. Yep.
Illegal block against Utah, or against Southwest Florida.
So this will back up Southwest Florida. Utah declining that because it would give them the extra down.
Yep. But they're playing the clock right now, and it is rolling right now. I think they've got 2 timeouts left. They're going to need to get a stop or a turnover here pretty quickly.
Second and 10. After the no gain, Garner going further in the wrong direction. That's good pursuit by the Utah defense, and they are not giving in despite the clock and the score against them at the moment. Noah Nacken, Pito Williams helping to make the tackle.
3rd and 13, Neil. I don't think they're going to run a quarterback sneak here. But they need to be careful. They don't really need to score anymore. They just got to move the chains and run the clock.
Yeah, thinking about throwing it, and Huber putting it up, and that ball is incomplete. Well, McQuivey had a chance to come down with an interception after Brown had bobbled it. It's a very risky call there. You maybe want to melt more of the clock away.
Yeah.
showed the conservative nature, but Huber gunslinging.
But a good throw, a 50-50 ball, and he had it until the safety came over and broke it up. I mean, sometimes you're going for a championship, you got to play like you want to win a championship. So I don't mind that call at all.
Yeah, you are right on it. They almost executed it. 4th and 12. Huber again. Huber tossing this up. It's going to fall incomplete. And it's a turnover on down. So Utah, with 3 minutes remaining, has the football back. And the defense does come up with the stop despite a first down on the drive that knocked off a few more minutes for Southwest Florida.
Utah doesn't have the clock on their side, but they've got to find some creative ways to get Apollo the ball here, whether it's on a swing. I don't know about that wheel route. They're going to be playing kind of a soft defense here, pass defense, Neil. So they're going to try and force them to run the ball, which will then feed into running the clock. So we'll see what they do here.
And you wonder, even at the hint of some pressure with the defensive front, can you find a screen pass here to McQuivy? It's something to get him involved. He didn't touch it the last time out. A misty rain continues to fall in Naples. That pass is broken up. Well, Bo Lee thought that Colt Huber got there early, but the pass falls incomplete.
Ball kind of fluttered. DB did a great job of close on the ball while it was in the air. That's a pretty good defensive play. That's a good no call.
Down to 2:54. Utah needs to score twice. There you can see with the lights on. That beautiful weather the last 48 hours, and now storm front making its way into Southwest Florida. They finally returned to McQuivy for the first time in 7 snaps. And he says, see, I can help us. 9 yards. 3rd and 1.
Nice little counter play. Got the motion coming across formation. They fake the jet sweep right, run with the counter back left. McKelvey does what he does, picks up 9 yards.
But also a scenario where they need to be moving along here. They don't have the time to huddle after every play. We're coming up on 2 minutes remaining. There was hesitation in the motion. Need to see Manu on the reverse. He slipped a tackle in the backfield to get the first down.
That'll stop the clock. Oh, they turned the timeout when the clock was going to stop because they got the first down. Ouch. They're going to want that timeout back, Neil, here in a little bit.
I believe they're down to 1. We're going to need to manipulate to find a way to get them on the scoreboard. The timeouts listed, Anthony, before the end of the day.
Another good coaching point for some of you youth coaches out there in practice. You get ready for next year. Neil mentioned it. You got to have a little urgency. They're down 2 scores with 2 minutes left. You don't have the luxury of calling a huddle and calling your play. You've got to have a hurry-up offense and teach your kids to get out of bounds on plays. So just a coaching point for young guys that want to take your teams to the next level next season. These situations must be practiced during the season.
Yeah, that's oftentimes how you grow, being put in uncomfortable situations.
Absolutely.
And finding your way out of them. 16-6, Southwest Florida. They've met the resistance of an even bigger storm to the community over the last few months, and trying to close out what would be a first championship for the program. Logan Thurber's throw is incomplete. And there were 2 Southwest Florida players who had a chance at the pick. And Tyreek Brown is not happy that it's not Southwest Florida ball.
Southwest Florida in a really good 2-deep zone coverage. They got their corners and linebackers back. You got their 2 safeties just sitting back, playing center field here. I think if they throw that pass again, the next one will be intercepted. Keep an eye on that.
2:01 remains. The 7th grade game will follow this shortly after. Scheduled time is around 4 o'clock. It might be a little after Eastern. Thurber over the middle, off the hands of Matthijs. It's 3rd down.
Tell you what, if he catches that ball, he had the edge there. That would have at least got them a 1st down. Maybe he runs out of bounds and stops the clock too. But that's a tough catch. But what we talked about earlier, it's wet right now. The ball's a little wet. You got smaller hands because these kids aren't as big, and it just rolls off his hands for an incomplete.
The incompletions have given them the ability to huddle. Make sure they have the right play call in. 3rd and 10. 10 points to gain. That pass goes through the arms of the intended target, Bo Lee, but a flag is thrown. Well, they call pass interference on Southwest Florida, and the pulse continues for Utah to extend this drive, the 15-yard penalty down to the 35.
Helpful penalty there for Utah's offense. Quarterback, not the strongest arm. They're going to need to find a big play here quick, get a stop, and maybe get into an onside here. But they've got to score quickly here to even get to an onside possibility.
One timeout left for Utah. 1:50 remains. Off a hop, that snap is fielded. And that pass complete for a gain of about 6. Good tackle in the open field by Brown to bring down Fidasimanu. And he is up slowly, but in doing so, that keeps the clock running. And now Utah will have to use that final timeout. So out of timeouts, running out of time. And we'll turn to the options here. Well, a very proud group where Brad Thurber is right there off left center of the screen, and
Utah might be want to think about putting Paulo in the slot and trying to get him the ball. Probably going to come out in empty, or they can come out in 2 receivers each side, which we call aces formation. But he's obviously the best athlete. They've got to find a way to get him the ball. That kid can make one kid miss and get in the end zone here and give you a chance to get to a possible onside.
Mentioning Brad Thurber, a proud group. He said a few months ago, I didn't even know what FBU was. And now he can't get enough of it, neither can his kids. The goal was to get to Florida. 6th graders have achieved that for the Utah program the last couple of years. They're here. They've made it farther than those previous 2 groups. Can they turn it around here in the last minute 20? It's a great hit by Brown to dislodge the ball from Fidasimanu, who's taken now 2 big hits on the last 2 plays.
Neil, last 2 plays, Utah's run a hitch by the slot receiver and then this out route. They might try and set them up right now for either a hitch and go or an out and up. Look for that play here to try and get on the scoreboard.
He's Anthony Williams, the Director of Football and Player Development for FBU. Neil Sika, final 121 from this first 6th grade championship game. First of 3. 16-6 is the Southwest Florida lead. Logan Thurber. They bring pressure. They hand to McQuivy on the delay, and that's a good call for the first down, but they've got to move it. They're out of timeouts. They'll have the momentary clock stoppage, but it's running again. And Thurber to spike it with 1:06.
Pretty good last call by Utah. Neil and I were just talking about Apollo. Last 2 carries, 9 yards a pop. But it's getting close now where they may not have that luxury. They might be able to pop one more here, but they have got to get in the end zone here pretty quickly. I love what I see from the Southwest Florida defense. They're keeping everything in front. I'm sure the coaches tell their DBs, let's not bite on any of these outs or hooks or curls. Sit back, make the tackle. We're playing the clock, and we want to make sure that we keep the clock rolling and don't get beat deep here.
Second and 10 at the 20. Logan Thurber, the lefty. In and out of the hands of his intended receiver in Matthijs, and then it was nearly intercepted by Herrera.
Corner almost came up with that play, just close, but did his job, stayed deep with the vertical route. Ricochet off the receiver, almost makes a play there. Utah's going to want to think about attacking the middle of the field right now. Safeties are out wide. They still have a 4-man front. Linebackers just kind of hopping. They may need to get somebody in that slant area, hit in the middle on a quick slant or post.
Third and 10. They tried that jet sweep. The ball was on the ground. To see Manu with 10 of his closest friends trying to maneuver him toward the goal line. He got as far as the 16. But there's only 35 seconds remaining, and it's 4th down. Their football game right here. Thurber to the air, incomplete. It's over on downs to Southwest Florida, and it's 20 seconds away from being over permanently. And a Southwest Florida title is in clear view on this cloudy day.
Smart defense by Southwest Florida. Played it perfect. Kept everything in front. Played the clock. Had them wear it down. Kept them out of the end zone. They can now get into every football coach's favorite play, which is the victory formation. Take a knee and get ready for a 6th grade championship here with FBU and C.
Victory formation. And for a few months ago, a group of kids that probably didn't know they'd even be getting the opportunity to play on a stormy day. There's a gleam of sunshine. It's one for all of Collier County. Southwest Florida, your 6th grade FBU national champions.
Great job by both these teams getting here, representing their respective states and cities. But we talked about the adversity that Southwest Florida has overcome with the hurricane. Great job by both teams. A lot of talent. Neil, between you and I know that we talked about Garner and a lot of guys making plays. My MVP is number 4, the quarterback from Southwest Florida, Cole Herbert. He just managed the game, made big plays when they needed it, kept things going. I would definitely give him a game ball.
There are many that helped propel Southwest Florida to its first championship at any grade level, and they will celebrate this one. Just like Gabe Solomon, their head coach, said, it's for our city and communities, it's for the county, for all of Southwest Florida, and they've gotten it done. 16-6, the final score. So the celebrations will continue. And we'll wrap it up here for our 6th grade coverage. We're just minutes away from the 7th grade FBU National Championship game, where Ohio and Georgia Middle School, they met last year in the 6th grade edition. It's a rematch up at the 7th grade level. That's coming your way next. Great working with you, Anthony, and looking forward to this 7th grade game that's just moments away.
Absolutely. I think you'll see the same kind of a game, but with a little bit more speed in this game. So great job by both teams.
All right, we'll pause for a few moments on watchfbunc.com and be back with your 7th grade FBU National Championship. Southwest Florida, the 6th grade FBU National Champions, with a 16-6 win over Utah. Back to Naples in a moment.